everybody hear me and all that kind of stuff. And try to pull up some comments on my other screen here that's over here. But I've actually had a really, really frustrating few days. So I'm trying to think of what is the best way to talk about what I've been through over the last month. But I think the only way to talk about it is just to get it on out and tell you. And I'm going to preface it with this, which is you don't dim your candle by lighting someone else's. No matter what they decide to do with that fire. So, with that being said, I recently found out that one of the members of my band had been emailing and calling and messaging people and asking them for money on my behalf. Meaning, apparently folks have paid for my tires, my rent, gas money, all sorts of stuff, and I never knew it. And I found all this out because I caught him in a different lie. And then it just kept coming and kept coming. And it seems like every single day I'm finding out more lies, and that this person wasn't who they thought. That I didn't, you never suspect it. You never suspect it. And I guess I'm just really confused by it, you know? Because I helped this person out. I paid his phone bill for a year, paid his rent. Meanwhile he's gathering rent for me. All these things, and then I found out that he was also messaging people. He'd gotten hundreds of dollars from this person and hundreds of dollars from another person to get a procedure done that he was never planning on getting done. And he even told a bunch of people that he did get it done, even though he never did. And thousands of dollars. And I don't, I hadn't thought of dealing with this kind of stuff. Generally I don't think of myself as like any kind of employer or anything, because in every single group I'm in, no matter what, and this kind of math comes from me being a train rider and that kind of lifestyle, but we always, every group I'm in, no matter if I'm the one selling the tickets or not, everybody gets an even split. Everybody. It doesn't matter. Everybody gets an even split. And, and so I don't think of myself as any kind of boss or anything when it has to do with bands, just because I happen to be really good at selling tickets and that kind of thing. I like to think of everybody involved as an independent contractor. You deal with your own stuff, we split everything, and, I deal with my own stuff, so I hadn't really thought about, going deep into doing like criminal background checks and that kind of stuff. My friend Lyle here. Now, Lyle is a dulcimer player. I'm sorry if you see me type in here. And I'm telling him I'm live on YouTube. But Lyle's a dulcimer player. He's great. He's been talking me through a lot of this and helping me out. And that's really nice. And my friend Savannah and my friend Hillary too. So hats off to them for helping me out. And Dusty. Dusty's been great. No, that's, you already can do the math now, right? So, so yeah, there's a few things that I'm really frustrated with this, of course, and one of them is that, being an independent contractor myself, thinking about all the other band members being independent contractors, I didn't have the foresight to be like, oh, well, I need to be doing serious criminal background checks on people or this and that. And the lies had gotten so intense over the last bit, like so intense. I mean, thousands of dollars that, and just catching more and more lies. Um, but they got so intense that I went ahead and ran a criminal background check. And when I ran, no, it wasn't Chris. But when I ran a criminal background check, I found out that this person had embezzlement, larceny. One was possession. I want to get it right. Possession by deceiving or something like that, and possession of stolen goods. But and there was just tons of them, tons of them. And so yeah, I'm a little frustrated, and I think what's even more frustrating is that this person is such a smooth talker that now they're settling in and like now this person is friends with my friends, and I feel like, yes, theft by deception. And I feel a little lost. I feel like I brought the lion into the den, and I don't want my friends to get hurt by this person. So I've kind of been feeling a little lost over the last few weeks, and so I'm sorry if I've been a little MIA, but I am I'm really hurt. I'm just genuinely hurt. And so, and it's tough when these kind of things happen because, I don't want any of these kinds of things to mess with the way that I help others. Because no matter what, I'm going to help others. But it's really, really hard to get past these kinds of things. It takes a lot of talking to your friends, talking it out, all of that kind of stuff. And which I will end this video with some good news because I got some great news, and got a bunch of different news actually. But folks, if anybody in this group, in this on YouTube or in like the Spoon Lady fan group that's on Facebook, if any of y'all have been asked by somebody asking to give me money and it's not me, I won't ask anybody for money. That's not what I do. If I do a fundraiser or something like that, like an event, that's one thing. But I will never just be like randomly emailing, calling people saying, hey, help me with my rent. That's not what I do. First of all, I'm financially stable. I don't need to be doing that. So it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in the future, but so many lies and so much deception, and they just keep coming up. And I haven't even poked at folks and been like, hey, if you've been messaged, email me, and I know that there's going to be more, there's because, this person isn't asking for, this person is emailing and messaging people that, or was, hopefully they're still not, but, that they didn't really know, and so I wanted to just say, if anybody ever, asks you for money on my behalf, don't, message me, talk to me, let me know that's happening. So yeah. No, I'm not doing the radio show anymore, but I am thinking about putting together a podcast. But I have some other stuff. Yes, Fraud Criminal. Some of it was commercial property deception. There's a bunch of it. I mean, there were dozens of stuff. So yeah, con artist kind of stuff, and I'm really frustrated. I'm super frustrated. You know, and I'll talk about this more in the future, and especially when I have my legs under me a little bit more with it. Because I'm not gonna let something bad just happen. I'm gonna try to find a way to make good happen of this. Like maybe we'll raise a little bit of awareness, or do a fundraiser, or I don't know. I just want to find a way to turn this into a good thing somehow. Make some positive videos that maybe help people out of this subject. Because if I'm gonna hurt, I'm gonna take my hurt and try to put it out there in a way that helps other people through their hurt. Because that's my own therapy. And so there it is. There are folks who will take advantage. Yes, and I see Francis says about how he needs to be reported. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do, because right now I'm just really concerned that he's around people that I care about, and that they're going to get taken advantage of, because, I mean, it's wild, the stuff that I found out that was or wasn't true, or was misleading, and he would tell people, like, well, don't talk to Abby about money, because it upsets her, and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's a little frustrating. Hey, hold on, I got a thing here. Amir, thank you, Amir. I wasn't totally prepared to come up here on the YouTube. I kind of did it last moment. I got my coat on in the house because I turned my heater down a little bit. It's a little cold in here, trying to save a little cash, so I'm trying to keep it down a little bit. And because I have to save a bunch of money, and because I have a great thing happening for me, and so let's change the subject, and let me end this conversation on something awesome, okay? Because I don't want to end on a bad note. All right? So, Tammy Jackson. Oh, I love you. I miss you. So, Tammy, I am in Kansas, and I am currently in Park City. Now, I grew up in Wichita. I came back here because I wanted to be closer to my folks. My dad's got Parkinson's, and my brother lives here. My son lives here, and so I wanted to be in this area, and but after running this place in Park City during the pandemic, and I know it's a pandemic, so you can't go out and really do much anyway, but after running this place out here because of the pandemic, I decided to quit paying rent. I'm tired of rent. I'm tired of paying somebody else's mortgage. So, with my father's help, and thank goodness for him, because he is so much better at money and those kinds of things than I am. He's a CPA and all that stuff. But with my father's help, I'm going to be purchasing a very, very inexpensive fixer-upper home in Winfield, Kansas. Now, this does not mean that I won't be traveling. It does not mean that I won't be wandering around the bus, and it does not mean I won't be doing shows in North Carolina and Kentucky and New York and California. It just means that I'm going to be able to pay on something and have it be mine by the time I'm done traveling. But there's a catch. It's a very inexpensive home. Hey, thank you, Amazing Grace. But it's a very inexpensive home, meaning I'm gonna have to get some serious tools. I've got it's got a room addition that needs to be fixed. I gotta build a wall. I gotta redo some of the subfloor and even some of the joist and kind of patch that kind of stuff up. Has a brand new roof. A guy had bought it to flip it. And I guess it was almost in condemned condition when he bought it. So this gives you an idea how cheap this house is. But it's move-in ready right now. But the guy had bought it to flip it. And when he bought it, he put in all new windows and he put on a whole new roof. And then he says he ran out of time. I'm not really sure exactly what that means. But he ran out of time. I think he means with his loan. And so hence here I come, and he's already done most of the hard work. He's done the roof. He's done, they put a new hot water heater in there. They put a new furnace in there. I have to do some sheetrocking stuff. I gotta be doing some flooring. One of the rooms is hot pink and covered in Justin Bieber, so I've got to fix that. But no one else is looking at this house. We're gonna put our and so I think we're gonna go in and pick it up on Monday if everything works out, and we'll start the negotiations. Hey, thank you, E. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Yes, it was checked for mold, and I had my friend here whose name is Lee. He's my dad's friend, family friend. He's a carpenter, and I had him go down there and look through it, check out all the stuff, and looks around. And it's a huge property. It's like 2,000 square feet. Psycho Axe Man. Oh my goodness. See, now I don't have any bells out. I need a bell. I don't have any bells. Do I need a bell? I need a cup. Bang on something. Something. But yeah. Ding ding. Whoa, thank you. Hey, thank you, Timothy. That's awesome, you guys. But, thank you now. I'm so excited about doing this thing. And that addition, so the deal is that they put this new roof on, right? And they put the new windows in. The front porch is falling apart, so I gotta do all that. But the house has a back addition, and the back addition is, it's got a new roof over it. It's all one piece now with the house. But the back addition, which was built on later, one of the walls and the ceiling and all of that, and then going into the garage, some of that, all of it's going to have to be reframed. Re-sheetrock, the floors, subfloor, all that, because that's where the ceiling was leaking before the roof had broke. When the roof had broken before they'd fixed it. And so, I looked up in there. They did a really good job. Yes, I should do a radon test. You're right. But I did look up in the attic too, and they did a really good job. They replaced all the rotten stuff up there when they were redoing the roof and all that, so I'm totally stoked. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm really excited. Hey, thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. I bet Eric's in Seattle. Andre P., thank you very, very much. So, I am going to be painting, sheetrocking, pulling up floor. It's got some really gross carpet in it that's not going to happen anymore. And this addition that I have to redo, I'm hoping I can turn it into kind of like a YouTube studio. Winfield, Kansas is home of like the largest bluegrass festival in the Midwest, called the Walnut Valley Festival. The town itself is about 10,000 people. The Walnut Valley Festival brings in 15,000 people. So imagine that for a moment. And people stay for a month before and a month after. And so I figured if I'm going to be in the Wichita area, to be close to my family, Well, I'm just gonna hop out to the next small town, and probably the only small town in Kansas where you can find banjos and fiddles everywhere. And it's only 45 minutes from Wichita and from my parents. And so I'm nice and close, and I can see everybody, and I don't have to live in Wichita. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, Wichita's a pretty cool town. There's stuff to do here. Folks call it the itch. It's a little dirty. Hey, thanks, Stockman2. From Russia. I really want to visit Russia one day. You know, spoons is popular there. Colleen is asking my age, and it's totally okay for you to ask my age because you can look it up on Wikipedia now. You can literally just ask, how old is the spoon lady, and Google will tell you on your phone now. But I'll be 40 in October. So yeah, this is what's going on with my life right now. I guess when one door shuts, another one opens. You know, and so I've had this huge issue with, I've always had issues with trust. And I think that those things are a little weird for me, you know, because it's like, you know, it's kind of like with relationships. You know, you have social issues enough that, you know, you get into a relationship, you know, you're so excited to get into a relationship, you get into those relationships, and then you immediately want them to end because it's too much. I don't know if anybody else goes through that kind of things, like romantically. And like with me, I have trouble, like I'll do that with friends, you know, like I'll be like, okay, I really, really want to be your friend, and I'll be your friend, and then all of a sudden I'll just feel like shut off from everybody. I'll be scared to talk to anybody. I'll feel frustrated. I'll be feeling like I'm trying to explain, like I feel like kind of like no one's gonna like me kind of thing. And I know it's childish, it's totally childish, and it's completely in my head. You know, but when things like that happen where people take advantage of you, you know, going back to that whole issue with my bandmates, it makes it hard to trust people, you know, because I want those friendships. I want them. I want to see people. I want to hear them. But then when I have those relationships, I get scared of them, you know, because, you know, are you going to be the next person to hurt me? And I know that that's not good for me. It's not balanced, you know, and so I try to remind myself, you know, and I have serious social anxiety too. I don't know if anybody ever goes through this. Like, I'll be at a friend's house, you know, and this is totally unjustified. I'll be at a friend's house hanging out, and let's say there's 2 or 3 other people that I know that are there. And then let's say I walk through the house to go to the bathroom, and I notice somebody else is there, you know, like my friend's roommate that I never met, somebody I never met. And my heart will start beating really fast because there's somebody new there. And I'll even start feel physically hot. And I know that kind of anxiety isn't normal. I know that. I know it's not normal. And I try to remind, and I'll even tell myself, like, while it's happening, this is not normal. Like, I'll say that to myself in my head. This is not normal. But it will still happen. You know, and it kind of goes up and down for me, too, because sometimes, you know, I'll be doing really good. I'll be interacting with people and having a good time with that. And then the next moment, I feel like I'm having trouble answering people. You know, I'm having trouble answering messages. I'm having trouble, you know, I mean, even just the basic, you know, my friend that I talk to all the time messaging me, hey, how are you? And I just feel like I can't respond for some reason. And I know that, again, I know this is in my head. and it's not healthy. And I'll tell myself all this kind of stuff is in my head. And like while it's happening, and it still happens, you know? Yeah, I thought about PTSD. Um, I'm not really sure. I've never been like diagnosed with anything like that or any kind of disorder, but I've never really seen anybody for any of this kind of stuff. So, um, I do know that, depression is definitely part of it, but I feel more just anxious than I do depressed. So, I don't know. I don't know. You guys have been great tonight. Thank you so much for being my therapy session. I'm really frustrated with a lot of this, and sometimes it feels like stuff just kind of piles on. I'm gonna have to get a bunch of saws and stuff, tools. And I don't really know too many people in Winfield, but I made a post in one of the town groups, and everybody apparently knows who I am, so I guess that's good, right? Seems to be a lot of musicians interested in hanging out. Oh, another cool thing. I just talked to Dusty today, and Dusty wants to record another album soon. So we're going to be doing that, and I'm excited about that. He's a great, great guy. He's done so much with expanding the way he's playing, the way he helps other people. Like, he's just such a good guy. Such a good guy. Honest, responsible, just totally great. I'm so glad I met him. But yeah, we're gonna do some recording, and we got some shows and stuff coming up. None of our shows are gonna be canceled because of all that stuff. Even if we might be minus somebody or with a different somebody. But none of our stuff's going to be canceled. We're still going to be playing some shows. I don't know much about booking this summer. A lot of the stuff I do are, like, I do tickets a lot, so it's a little harder to cancel those kinds of things. And so I'm kind of waiting more towards fall. Although Destiny and I do have some shows that we have booked in May in the North Carolina, South Carolina area. I think we're going to be in Abbeville and I think Newton. So that's going to be awesome. And then we're going to be heading out for some other stuff in the fall. And then I guess in the meantime, in the middle there, I'm going to be busking is going to be hit and miss. As soon as I can go street performing again, I am. But as soon, I guess a little bit this summer, I'm going to be hopping in and out of Winfield, getting the house ready. And until it's up to a certain point, I'm not going to feel safe leaving it alone at all because I want to make sure everything's all nice and set and locked up tight. Right now, you can't even shut the back door and stuff where the add-on is, and so I'm gonna have to be dealing with a bunch of that kind of stuff. Yeah, and hey, there's Lyle Rickards. If y'all don't know who Lyle Rickards is, he's up there in the scroll, but he is an excellent musician. He's a multi-instrumentalist, but his primary instrument is the mountain dulcimer, and he is just super good. He's super good. He's Psycho Axe, man. Is it a garden you dig? Well, Psycho Axe, man, thank you. Psycho Axe, man. I am going to be, I'm thinking about growing some gardens, actually. Now that you're talking about digging in gardens. But I'm a little worried about how that might work if I'm in and out of town. So if y'all have any plant ideas that are low maintenance where, I could be gone for a couple weeks and they're still okay, please let me know because I have no idea what I'm doing. My grandma could plant a tire and make a car grow. But don't have quite the same green thumb. She had 2 acres of green beans, I tell you what. Squash, okra, watermelon. I like okra. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it. So, what are you guys growing in your garden? Can you tell me what you're growing? See, I do like strawberries. Wild strawberries grow around on the plains. Do I take bookings? I'm booking in the fall now. So yeah, I've been a little slow recently on doing the booking because of the coronavirus, but yeah, I think the fall's going to be okay. I'm feeling optimistic, and I think maybe probably sooner than that for street performing and stuff. I'm feeling optimistic. So, strawberries and blackberries. See, I love blackberries. See, I thought about doing grapes too because they kind of grow crazy wild, but then you have flies all over the place. I used to have some grapes, and you have to plant them way far away from your back door or be really on top of picking them up, or else you get flies everywhere. We'll get fun. Thank you very much. Growing over a foot of snow right now. It snowed a little bit today in Park City, but not very much. Lettuce, tomatoes, basil, oregano. See all that? That's all good stuff. Zucchini, eggplant. See, I like eggplant, but that's something I don't very often cook. I also don't cook as many artichokes as I should. I really like artichokes. Plant carnivorous plants for the flies. Okay, guys. Speaking of carnivorous plants, I'm going to tell you an idea that I have about well, it's a movie idea, and the guy who did Sharknado, that movie where sharks in a tornado are like going through LA, I think, or something like that. And I don't know if any of y'all. It was so bad it was good, one of those things. But that guy, the guy that made that movie, I forget his name. He needs to do this idea. And the premise of the movie is that some mad scientist cross-pollinates like a Venus flytrap with kudzu, and somehow it starts growing so big and going around and doing all this stuff, and then starts eating people and taking over towns. What do you think? Is that a crazy B movie or what? I think it is. I really hope somebody steals that idea and makes that movie. Blackberries do take over large areas. I like blackberries. There's this place in Salem, Oregon that folks call the Black Sands. And it's because of all I think it's coal or ore that's in the dirt there. And it's covered in blackberry bushes everywhere. And the homeless people there have dug tunnels into the blackberry bushes. And we're talking like fields worth of blackberry bushes. And they've done so many tunnels that, they have rooms and mailboxes and chimneys, and they're all lined inside with plastic. Like it's actually like a blackberry town. Everybody's got their own thing, and it was probably one of the neatest homeless cities I had ever seen. It was really amazing and actually really high tech. I mean, I saw a couple of pretty cool ones. I saw one that was all in trees. That was pretty interesting. But yeah, that's Salem, Oregon. If anybody's from there, the Black Sands, y'all might know where I'm talking about. Yeah, that might make a good movie too. I wish somebody would do a documentary about some of these cooler homeless camps. But the truth is that unless you're already part of that culture, the homeless culture, traveling, stuff like that, chances of a documentary filmmaker going in there and filming that and actually getting a decent film is slim to none because homeless people and especially those in the traveling culture are really really guarded. Like I don't know if y'all ever heard of the slabs out in the middle of the desert. There's a bunch of documentaries on the slabs, but none of them are actually complete. And it's pretty much because people don't want to be filmed. If Slab City's been done to death, that's the most famous one. But there's a lot of really cool ones. Slab City is a bit of a headache. I'm guessing, I don't know if I could stand the heat in the middle of the desert like that. My brain would probably explode or something. Hey, thank you, Marty Brown. That's real sweet of you. All right, well, I better hop off of here. I've been on here for almost 40 minutes now. So, I'm gonna run off. Do I listen to Guar? No, I don't listen to Guar, but my daughter does. Who are my musical heroes? And I'll tell you one of them is Utah Phillips. Utah Phillips is one of my heroes. I love listening to his shows. Like there's a handful of storytelling shows that you can find on YouTube, and he tells this awesome story. It's a tall tale about the Great Turtle Drive. Shanna Miller, thank you very much. But the Great Turtle Drive is, when they were driving turtles across the plains so that they can sell them to make turtle soup. It's a hilarious story. But Utah Phillips is one of my favorite musicians. Hey, thank you, Impossible. Another one of my favorite musicians, and I'm about to go off on another tangent in a second here. But another one of my favorite musicians is Woody Guthrie. And I don't know if any of y'all recently caught the inauguration, but yeah, that's the sigh of, oh my gosh, I gotta talk to you about something real. But during the inauguration, and this isn't, well, it's political, but not specifically political. But during the inauguration, you had all sorts of fucks coming up. All these folks were coming up, and they are singing songs and doing their poetry, and then here comes J-Lo. Yeah. So J-Lo decided to sing "This Land Is Your Land." Now, do you know what this song is actually about? "This Land Is Your Land" was actually a big screw you to the song "God Bless America." He hated the song "God Bless America" because he thought that song glossed over uneven distribution of wealth. And so he hated that song. And he wrote that as an answer to it. And thank you, Ben B. But she didn't sing the lyrics that have to do with, poverty and that kind of stuff. She left those out. And it just kind of blows my mind to sit there and think, here's this song, written about, is this land your land? Is it my land, really? Which is actually the real context of the song. Um, but she leaves out the actual stanzas that have to do with poor people. And then here she is singing it in front of the nation's elite. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that very much. And so, watching this, it made my skin crawl a little bit. I love Woody Guthrie. I love his music. Same reasons I love Utah Phillips music. But I did not like that. That bothered me. That bothered me. So, yeah, thanks for letting me get that off my chest, because I couldn't handle that one. It really bothered me. Fulgent fun. Nice to know that others know about Woody Guthrie. Actually, I'm gonna be really, really close to Tulsa, and Tulsa's got the Woody Guthrie Museum, so I'm gonna be heading down there when I can, I guess. So that'll be fun. I really like those guys. But yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like the way that felt listening to that, and it bothered me. Hey, I have a question. How do you roll the spoons down your arms and keep the sound constant? See, I got my spoons with me, but I will show you the best of my ability, and I really do need to make a video of that. So when I'm playing, if you can already do it down your fingers, and that's the top one vibrating on the bottom one, then when you're right here, if you start here, this is one click. Think about it like your fingers. This is another click. This is another click. 1, 2, 3. They'll pick up on those humps. And I'll do a video on that one. It's hard to go down the arm like that. It's even harder to go back up. That's actually super hard. But how old are my kids? My kids are adults. Alex lives in town, and he's got a fiance, and they're cute as can be. And he's 20, and then Charlotte's 19. Impossible turn. And then Charlotte's 19, and she's up in PA. When's my birthday? October 29th. I'm Scorpio. But yeah, Charlotte is she's doing all right, and Alex is doing pretty good too. And my parents are on vacation somewhere, because that's what they do. Oh, almost Halloween. It's Halloween all the time. Ooh. October 22nd. See, you got it. October. I got blacksmithing. Hey, that's really cool. I've never tried that. That's something I've never tried. So you're in Beaver, Oklahoma? Where exactly is Beaver, Oklahoma? Is that northern Oklahoma? Or is it south or east-west? My favorite thing about Kansas. My favorite thing about Kansas is that if you have a nice open night out on the plains, Panhandle, okay. If you have a nice open night on the plains, and y'all from Oklahoma will know what I'm talking about, and you're watching the sunset, if you have one of those 360 plains views, you can actually watch the sunset on both sides. And you don't get to see that when you're in the mountains. You don't even get to see the cool part of the sunset when you're in the mountains. You only see that on plains or out where you can actually see the horizon, maybe the water. And that's something I've always really liked, to watch that glow on the other side of the earth like that. It just looks so cool. You know, but my favorite thing about being here, though, is my kid being here, Alex being here. Do you have any Renfest friends? I have a handful of Renfest friends. I should hang out a little bit more with them. I have a friend of mine who's super good at the hurdy-gurdy, and I've been really proud of her lately. She's working real hard. Southern Oregon. Big Sur, amazing sunsets. I bet Big Sur does have amazing sunsets. That's kind of a cool place. Yes, Ohio is on my list. We got 3 Ohios in a row there. But yeah, it sucks, you know, because right when I wanted to go out and start really hitting the road and doing all this stuff, all the virus stuff happened, and yes, I really miss playing music. Yes, and I do love Zydeco. All right, folks. Hold on. 4 Ohios. What part of Ohio? I don't know. Y'all send me some theater ideas, and I am on it. Hi, Abby from Salem, Oregon. Hey, BMX, do you know what I'm talking about when I talk about the black sands and the homeless tents? All right, folks. I am going to run off. Columbus, Marion, Dayton, Lansing, Michigan, Woodstock. Y'all are shouting some places at me. Wait. Tornado watch for you. Oh, no. Hey, thanks, Charlemagne. Charlemagne Follett. I've been through some pretty serious tornadoes here before. You know, and I'm sure y'all from Oklahoma know what I'm talking about when I say this. You know, hey, thanks, mister. But those of you from Oklahoma are gonna know what I'm talking about. So, here in Kansas, you know, you get people saying, "Oh, so you have tornadoes. Aren't you scared of tornadoes?" What actually happens when you grow up here is that when the tornado sirens go off, you go and look at the high school parking lots, and all the pickup trucks are gone because people are going storm chasing, which really isn't storm chasing. It just means you're driving around randomly in torrential rainfall, smoking and drinking. That's all that means. It's like a rite of passage around here. Nobody ever actually catches a tornado. You know? But I don't know if they still do. The news guys used to give out money for people if they got good footage, and so some people used to like freelance doing a lot of that kind of stuff, trying to catch good footage, but usually people just ended up stuck in the mud and stuff. And you got to be really good at that kind of stuff to actually catch it. And all that Twister movie, that's all hype. So, Atlas, Oklahoma. Yeah, so you know, I gotta tell you that the Midwest, the Plains, really isn't that bad. It's really not. And Oklahoma's got a lot more music than Kansas does, actually. Especially Tulsa's got a ton of music. Um, so yeah, I like it around here actually. Florida does have a lot of tornadoes. Tennessee, I think, beat out Kansas a handful of times in tornadoes for a year. Oh, see, I've never been in a hurricane. Although there is something weird that's happening here, and again, Oklahoma folks are going to understand what I'm talking about, the whole earthquake thing. Because Wichita never had earthquakes until this year, and now they're getting earthquakes, and we're getting earthquakes that are really large. Hey, thanks, Mister, again. But but large for here, that is. Meaning, like almost 4 on the Richter scale, which is huge here. Because you get past 4, then you're talking about like building damage. And none of these buildings here are made for earthquakes. So, yeah, lots of wind too. Lots of wind. There ain't nothing to stop the wind. People make jokes a lot, the state tree of Kansas is in Topeka. State bird is the grasshopper. Hey, that sounds cool. Zane Caverns. Zanesfield. That seems like a cool place to go check out. I'm gonna write that down. I keep saying I'm gonna get off of here, but I keep talking. Alright, I'm about to run off. Wish me luck on this house, because I have no idea what I'm doing. And so if you see me live streaming, asking for advice on how do I lay flooring or how do I figure whatever else out, that might be happening. But it seems like I'm already making friends in the town, and no, I'm not a Libra, but my sister is. Good luck, Uncle Mom. Banjonator. See, when somebody calls me Uncle Mom, that means I know they know me from riding trains, because that's what they used to call me when I rode trains. Alright, folks. I'm gonna run off. I'll talk to y'all later, alrighty? Good night, everybody. And thank you so much for helping me out, and thank you for letting me spill some of my crap off my chest, because I feel much better now. I do. So much. Goodness for you guys.